So how about a new topic?
Yeah, sure. Didn't Sarah have like 5 topics?
She had a couple more questions. You want me to go through them?
Sure.
All right. Her second question was, what are some good puzzle games for the PC?
Minesweeper.
Oh, Benji, you should come here. Now, Benji's been playing a lot of puzzle games for the PC lately. Benji, come here. Benji, come here.
Guest stars in this episode.
Come here, Benji.
Windows ME.
Come here.
Get it?
Come on.
It's a joke.
Is Vanjie his wife or like a dog?
We've made this joke before, I believe.
Yes.
Here,
Is she a
Vanjie,
talking
here, Vanjie.
dog?
Hi, brother.
That's something about the way Michael interacts with his wife. Hey, Vanjie.
Okay, we both talk to each other like we're the dog because...
That's how we talk to the dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
It seeps into everything. So, Sarah, who is apparently a fan of the GameCola podcast, holy crap, right? Was wondering about good PC puzzle games. And you've been...
Monkey Island.
Well, there's that, yes.
Monkey Island 2.
Oh, curse of Monkey Island.
Just throwing that out there.
And
Are we talking-
For my last gamer girlfriend column, I've been spending a lot of time on Big Fish games lately, playing their hidden puzzle games. And despite what I said in my last column, I may not have stopped.
I was wondering why you brought that laptop to my wedding.
What? Oh.
What are some of the good ones there, though?
Well, the one I reviewed, Echoes of Sorrow, was actually a really good one. Paul, have you played that yet?
Yeah, I have actually. That was pretty good.
Right?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
I felt kind of gratified. It's like, wow, you played a game because of my review.
Yeah, I did.
That was a pretty good one. Is this my laptop or your laptop?
This is my laptop.
Our laptops are identical. Hang on.
Aw, they have matching laptops.
Didn't someone review a bathroom game? Some sort of
Nah,
bathroom
Don't
puzzle
think
game?
that's what Sarah wants.
And wishes he hadn't. Oh, how he wishes he hadn't.
We
Yeah,
should
that was
recommend that
that's-
to her.
That's a hentai game.
Oh.
And apparently on the closer scale of those.
I couldn't muster up the courage to actually read that. There's too long of a warning, and I'm a baby. I don't like seeing poop.
No, it's you're better off not.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, we had like 3 barriers of warning on that review, if I recall correctly.
Couldn't he just review the game and not show the poop images, or is that
No,
is that
no,
too
that's
much asked?
essential. Poop's
Oh,
essential.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have my games from Big Fish Games sorted by how much I liked them, and I've got about 10 games in my really, really good folder. The ones that I tended to like the most were the ones that, I should preface this by saying that hidden object games aren't terribly complicated. You knock through them in about 4 hours. The plots are usually pretty simplistic. They're kind of addictive, but that's just me. So you start to look for the ones that differentiate themselves by having really good mechanics and having really good stories. And also, they really have some very pretty art design, too. So the ones that I tended to find the most effective were the ones that made best use of mood and tone to end up being games that were actually really kind of spooky. Let's see.
But I just like to click randomly on the screen.
Yeah, they penalize you for that. Yeah, and you start coming up with criteria after a while. It's like if it's too easy to spot the objects, it's like pass. If it's so hard that my eyes hurt, pass. So, I end up looking for exactly that right degree of difficulty where it's challenging but not making me want to tear my eyes out. The Puppet Show series, there's more than one game in that collection. I played The Lost Town, but that was a really good creepy one. Stray Souls, A Dollhouse Story was also really, really creepy. There's one that's based on Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat that was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. That was very creepy. And I like stuff that's literature-based. And actually, there's a fair bit of that. One of the other ones on my list of good plays that had nothing to do with being scary was a hidden object version of The Great Gatsby. I had fun playing that game.
Actually, didn't Michael Gray just review one that was about Pride and Prejudice also? No, wait, that was like a dating sim or something. Never mind.
Yeah, I think you're right.
About to say, if that was a hidden object one, I would have found that.
Pride and Prejudice baiting.
You would have
game.
found it. I get it.
Oh,
Murder mysteries and horror stories tend to do really well with the hidden object genre. Because there's a lot of puzzle solving and sleuthing, and that can be a lot of fun.
And if she's, I haven't played any of these, but I know GOG.com, GOG, Good Old Games. They have a lot of the sort of older point-and-click games, and they have user ratings of them, and those are pretty cheap too. You can game on that site for a while on a budget. So she might want to.
As opposed to Angie's crippling big fish addiction, which, well, it's been expensive over time.
Actually, GOG has some free adventure games too. I just played an old one from like 1994 called Teen Agent.
I know they've had some of
Sure
the
enough.
Tex Murphy games for free too, if anyone likes those.
Yeah, so that's a good site for her to check out.
And
Chips
Beneath
Challenge.
a Steel Sky is also free on there.
Well, that's a good
Not
one
a bad
too.
game.
There you have it.
Yeah, it's our advice, I think.
Yeah,
It's good advice.
yeah. I can deal with that. I can live with that.
sure, why not?
Thanks, Vanjie. Sarah had one more question. Do we want to go into it?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Sarah's third question. And this is just a random question. When something in a game happens that really frustrates you, how do you react? Do you drop kick the remote into the TV, or do you just sit there and ponder quantum physics to get your mind off of it?
I do both.
Ooh, I can answer this one. I just had this happen last night. So I'm concurrently playing Dragon Warrior 4 for the NES and Final Fantasy 3 for the DS, which is really confusing to me because I sort of gave up RPGs a long time ago and said I don't like them as much as I used to, but now I'm playing two of them that I'm enjoying. So I'm playing Dragon Warrior 4, which has a Final Fantasy 13 kind of battle system to it where you control the main character and everybody else in your party is a moron, and they just do whatever they want. And
Yes.
after repeatedly demonstrating that, no, these enemies who can kill the entire party instantly are the ones you attack first, everybody consistently bashed on the stupid bat that makes people maybe fall asleep, and my party was wiped out. And this is something that continually happened. I needed to keep running up and down the dungeon and got really angry at my party. So when I get really frustrated at a game like that, I say, you know what? Forget it. You're all morons. I'm playing Final Fantasy 3 because I have complete control over all of my characters. So I went off and played Final Fantasy 3, and I had I had the job system, I had a powerful geomancer, and I had a noble knight who could take all the damage and protect I had a red mage who could do anything, and I had a dragoon who could jump into the air and be totally invulnerable to damage because he's not there on the battlefield, and then slam down on things' heads. It was grand. And then I went into a boss battle and was wiped out in 2 turns. Because everybody needed to be a dragoon so that you can all jump out of the way so that you don't get killed in the first 2 turns. So then I got really angry and stopped playing video games altogether. So that's what I do when I get frustrated at video games.
That's not Final Fantasy 3.
No, it's Final Fantasy
Oh,
3.
it's Final
three,
Fantasy 3.
3. Not 6-3.
Oh, sorry, I kick it old school. So, to me, Final Fantasy 3 will always be Final Fantasy 3.
I've also had a recent experience with the game, the Lifeline, which dear God, am still playing.
Thank
After I
God I
started
have mercy on your soul.
so many months ago.
Why are you
I'm
playing
getting
Lifeline?
close to the end. I'm getting close to the end. It's actually really kind of annoying because the timer in the game says that I've only been playing for 9 hours, but that's just because I keep dying like a lot. So I've actually been
That's
playing
a
it for
terrible
like
game.
600 hours or so. It's a great game. No, I'm having a weird experience with this game. Normally, when I get frustrated with the game, I just say, well, that's a stupid game, and stop playing. But with this game, I'm actually seeing it as a challenge. Like, I will continue to shout at this poor woman until she hears what I'm trying to tell her to do, and then does. By the way, this is a voice-controlled video game. That might be important information. That you have to tell the character what to do. And I'm just finding myself just keep pushing on and on and on and on and getting madder and madder and madder and madder until I finally push through and get to the next part and then start the whole process over again. I don't know why.
I really want to play it, just because it looks like the Troll 2 of video games. It's so bad.
I kind of want to do a Let's Play for it if I can figure out how. It might be
Yeah, it would be kind of odd as you have to, talk over the top
Yeah.
of you,
I think I have, separate microphones to do it.
But then we'd miss out on hearing what you have to say,
Yeah.
saying to the person. Kind of. Not that we would probably really care that much, but...
But yeah, normally I just give up when I get too frustrated and play something else. Maybe trade the game away on GoozeX or something.
Yeah, I just swear and quit.
I think that's what most people do.
Yeah, I mean, I swear and I start talking to the game as if it is a sentient being trying to ruin my happiness. It's like, oh, really? You had to do that game? Oh, thank you, Rico. Thank you, Rico, for not covering me. God damn it, Rico! I think that was Killzone 2. Because Killzone 2 is terrible.
I got my game rage on last night. I get pretty angry. I'm not too bad anymore, but I used to be really bad. But Portal 2, which I'm playing right now, Billy my boyfriend, had played that level already, so he was sitting watching me, very smug. Never, ever, ever sit with someone who's playing Portal 2 if you've already played it before. Because he was sitting there, like, arms folded, smug face, kind of like, yeah, that's not what you do. Yeah, that's not what you do. And, yeah, I went a bit nuts.
Banji says she starts crying and then asks me to do it, which coincidentally is what happens to Paul most of the time, except that it's Paul crying and he asks Lizzo to do it.
Yeah, see, you think you're making things up, but...
I know I'm not! This is the man who...
This has actually come up where I'll face, like, some sort of terrible, like, logic puzzle, and I'll have to ask Lizzo to come do it for me because it's too hard.
No, I know I'm not joking because you have admitted that you have had to have Lizzo go into GameStop and buy your girly games for you because you're ashamed or you're afraid or whatever.
You cannot expect me to buy Drama Queens myself. Come on.
Yikes.
She puts up with a lot.
So did the world end at your wedding?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh.
Did have my wedding on Judgment Day, and none of us were taken away.
What's that tell you?
Sadly.
Yeah. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Not sure.
So, did we have any other listener suggested topics?
How much time do we have?
We're closing in on the end, actually.
We have one more from our friend James, but I think it might take more than 5 minutes to talk about, so maybe we can save it for the next episode.
Oh, where was it?
What is it?
All right, yeah, I can go into it now if you want.
Let's just hear it and then we can decide.
All right.
Yeah.
James asks, on the next podcast, I think it would be fun to talk about games that are great to play despite the fact that one quality is so unimaginably bad. For example, great gameplay, horrible story, great concept, horrible graphics, or anything like that. My favorite example of this is Sin and Punishment, Star's successor for the Wii, which has great gameplay but an absurdly bad story.
True.
Yeah, I know some games like, this might not be too popular considering it was GameCola's Game of the Year, but Heavy Rain, I think, was an awful... Well, no, maybe I don't want to go as far as say awful, but not a good gameplay mechanic. Yeah, not a good gameplay mechanic because it's nothing but QuickTime events. But it was an interesting story. It was interesting to play.
I didn't even think the story was good.
Events.
I
know,
the
that's the
gameplay.
problem.
I didn't
Like
even
saying,
think
I don't like air because I can use it to metabolize food.
But that's like saying it's supposed to be a kick in the nuts. Like, it's not good.
What do you want?
You had a kick in the nuts for being a kick in the nuts.
Fair enough. But it had good things around the kick in the nuts. It had a good storyline.
Did it have a good story?
Yeah, wait, isn't that, like, not what everyone else says?
Again, it had an okay storyline compared to video games.